Now let's bring in our next guest. You probably have been there, no doubt. How about Fresno Ag, Pat Marchese? How's it going?
It's going great, thank you.
Now, Pat, how are you the family that owns the Fresno Ag?
Yeah, we've owned Fresno Ag Hardware since 1952.
And are you the originators of it, or was it already Fresno Ag when you took it over?
No, Fresno Ag Hardware actually started off as Fresno Agricultural Works in 1876.
Wow.
We're 138 years old right now. We are Fresno's oldest business.
Wow, that's amazing. And you guys were at Blackstone and Gettysburg for all that time?
No, well, Fresno Ag Hardware started on Brown and Blackstone in 1953. Prior to that, my father, John Rosetta, worked at the Fresno Agricultural Works, which was on Tulare and L Street.
Downtown.
And he actually started as a janitor there and worked his way up. It was a great story about my dad.
Great American story there, right? So you're at Brown and Blackstone, but this generation doesn't remember that. We remember the big one on Blackstone and Gettysburg.
Absolutely.
That was there. That still stands there.
Still stands there.
You guys still own that property?
No, that was the problem. We never owned the property. We owned the building. My dad, when he moved us over from Brown, got a 40-year land lease. It was actually called the Alhambra Hotel when the location, and he did all the excavation, knocked the building down, the hotel down, and then built a building in Fresno Ag Hardware. We had a 40-year land lease.
That's one big square, huh?
Oh, yes. Yeah. In the
How many square feet was that building?
65,000 square feet. And he basically did all the work himself to get that building ready. It was amazing. We spent a lot of nights there in the summer getting it going.
A lot of Fresnons have spent a lot of nights there, too. That parking lot's famous.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you guys have always taken a different view on how to do business, I felt. When I came to Fresno, you could go to the big box stores and buy pretty much everything that you could get at Fresno Ag, but I'm drawn there for the people.
Exactly. We want to really give service. That's our main thing. And we really are competitive in our prices also, but we will do the little extra things to get you what you really need. And we're trying hard to make sure that we're going to carry those hard-to-find items, because the big stores really don't want to carry those. Right. Every now and then I have to go into Orchards for something or Lowe's for lumber, and I'll tell them, I'm one of the owners of Fresno Ag, and they go, oh, we love your store. We send people there all the time. And what they tell me is they don't want to carry certain items because they don't turn as fast.
Right.
And they go, we want you guys to carry those, and we carry them. So it's a fun thing.
Well, not to mention to get that answer out of them, it probably took you half an hour, right?
or to try to find
because
somebody.
When you walk into Fresno Ag, the ladies, the cashiers, the ones that have been there forever. You've had some cashiers that have been there a long time.
Absolutely.
And ones that recognize the children as they're growing up. There's one there that recognizes my son every time we go and has for forever.
Yeah. And I think that's what's unique about our store. I know when I went away to college and I went to a grocery store and nobody knew who I was, I thought, this is crazy, because I've grown up in Fresno my whole life and I know everybody. And my family grew up on the west side of Fresno and they knew everybody. And that's what we want. We want Fresno Ag to be the place you go that we're going to remember your name and we're going to acknowledge you. And it's very important to us.
I've often said that someone needs to put a restaurant inside of Fresno Ag, because it seems like people don't want to go. It's like almost like the dollar store mentality.
Yeah.
Like you just go in there to look around, you walk out with the armful of stuff.
Yeah. Every day I see that. I'll ask people, can I help you with something? And they'll say, I have about an hour to kill. I thought I'd come over here and just look at things. And they usually leave out with a shopping cart full of merchandise, so it's always fun.
Very tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, so the new location, we're over at Gettysburg and First?
Yes, we are.
And that was an old grocery store.
It was a grocery store, yeah. When our lease was up, because we had that 40-year land lease, and when it was up, my uncle, who was a partner with my father, and my mother was the owner because my stepdad had died, they actually thought about closing the business. They've had a good run. They were ready to let it go. And the kids, we didn't want that to happen. I mean, I've known Fresno Ag Hardware all my life. I used to go to a school called Lafayette, which was across the street from the old school on Brown. So we wanted to keep this thing going, but there wasn't any available buildings in the area. There was really nothing. I went from Shields all the way down to Herndon, and we couldn't find anything. Well, fortunately, this grocery store was vacant. And
right around the corner.
Right a mile away.
Right.
And I met with Dwayne Zinkin. He was the owner of the property, and I'll tell you what, Dwayne went way beyond what he needed to do to get us in there. He wanted us in there. And what was cool about that is that Dwayne, when his father came over, well, they came from Venice or from Santa Monica to Fresno in the 60s, or in the 50s actually. The first business that gave him a line of credit was Fresno Agricultural Works, my dad's old business. And Dwayne never forgot that. And when he heard we were looking, he made a point to meet with me. He said, I want you in my building, whatever it takes, you're going to get in there. And this guy, without him, we wouldn't be in business right now.
Amazing.
It was a great thing.
I love to hear those kind of stories.
It was awesome.
How's business over at the new place?
Great. We're doing really well. We have 82 employees right now that are working there, and we're open 7 days a week, and we're really doing well. Our numbers are better than they were with the old location.
Amazing. Now, we talked earlier about you carrying some things that the other places don't carry. There's probably someone out there going, well, what is it?
Yeah. Well, I know every day I'm there, and somebody will come up and say, do you have this? And I'm thinking, well, I don't think so, but let me take you to our department, and let me see. And these guys will have it. I mean, a guy came in not too long ago, and he was looking for a specific screw for a Lionel train, an engine, and it was like a 1940 model. Went to the hardware department. They told him, hey, I'm looking for it. They went right to the place, and there it was. That's what they had.
Amazing.
But, you know, wall-mounted faucets, people don't want those anymore. All of us had those when we were growing up. We have like 9 different varieties of them where most stores won't have any.
Wait a minute. Now, we're working on ours last week. You mean the one with the washer that when it wears out, the water doesn't...
Oh, well, that happens. But we're talking about the ones that mount right into the wall.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But what we'll do is
What about the ones that I'm talking about, the valve?
Well, we'll sell you that valve instead of selling you the faucet, which is amazing because the other stores don't really want to carry those replacements. They want you to buy the new stuff.
Right.
And we have all those little things. And
so all these houses here in the Tower District, in the Fresno High area, that were built in the 40s and 50s, you guys generally have all that stuff.
If you live in that area, Old Van Ness, you got to come to Fresno Ag when you need to repair your products.
Awesome. What's the hours over there at Ag?
We're Monday through Friday from 7 to 7, Saturdays from 8 to 6, and Sundays from 9 to 6.
Still got the coffee on the way in?
Oh, well, the coffee is in the paint department, yes.
All right.
We've got it there.
All right, Pat. Do we have a couple quick pictures, Billy? Yeah. Let's take a couple. This is the old one right here. Tell me about
that one. That's located on Tulare and L Street. They built that one in 1906. Prior to that, there was a wood building on there. And Tulare and L is where the Del Webb building is right now. That's where that was. This one here was our first location in 1876. And that was actually on the Fulton Mall.
Is that a picture or a drawing?
No, that right there. That right there. That actually is a drawing that they had to do. But that was the original one. That one was on Brown Street in Blackstone in 1953.
You know what? I look at that one and it looks a lot like the Cobb's.
Oh, it does in a way.
Right.
It does right now. It's called the T-shirt shop on Blackstone, if you wonder where it is.
Awesome.
And that's where I spend my childhood.
And here's the new location
That's our new location there.
Fresno Ag Hardware. What'd you say, 137 years?
138 years old.
Jeez. Pat, thank you very much for coming by.
And I'd just like to thank people from Fresno for coming to our store, and we're going to be there as long as you keep coming.
All right. Thank you very much. Pat Marchese from Fresno Ag, great to have you.